Robert Picardo played a surprising number of Star Trek characters besides Voyager's Doctor. When most Star Trek fans hear the name Robert Picardo, one image immediately comes to mind: the holographic Doctor aboard the USS Voyager. With his dry wit, sharp intellect, and gradual evolution into one of Star Trek Voyager's most human characters, Picardo's emergency medical hologram became one of the franchise's most beloved roles. However, what many fans don't realize is that Picardo's contribution to the Star Trek universe extends far beyond the EMH. Throughout the decades, the actor has appeared in multiple Star Trek projects as entirely different characters, both on screen and behind the camera. From engineers to admirals to holographic doubles, Picardo has woven himself deeply into the fabric of Star Trek in ways that surprise even longtime fans. 1. The Doctor. But not just on Voyager. Let's start with the obvious. Robert Picardo's Doctor wasn't confined to Voyager alone. His EMH made appearances in several crossover stories, cementing his role as one of the few characters to connect Voyager to the wider Star Trek universe. He first appeared outside Voyager in Star Trek First Contact 1996, where the EMH briefly helped Captain Picard and crew fend off the Borg aboard the Enterprise E. That small but hilarious cameo, in which the Doctor distracted Borg drones by suggesting they might need a physical, became one of the most memorable comic relief moments in the film. The EMH also appeared in Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Dr. Bashir, I presume, where Picardo played opposite Alexander Siddig's Julian Bashir in a storyline that connected Starfleet medical science across the franchise. These crossovers subtly tied together the shared Starfleet world while showcasing Picardo's ability to make the same hologram feel fresh in different contexts. 2. Louis Zimmerman. The man behind the hologram. Before there was the Doctor, there was the man who made him, Louis Zimmerman. The real-world inspiration for the EMH was also played by Robert Picardo, who managed to give Zimmerman an entirely different personality and energy. Introduced in Voyager's Lifeline, Zimmerman was brilliant, arrogant, and somewhat socially awkward, a perfect foil to the Doctor's programmed confidence. The episode, which saw the Doctor travel to Earth to save his creator's life, offered fans a fascinating mirror between creator and creation. Playing both characters in the same story, Picardo showcased his exceptional range, switching seamlessly between the neurotic human and the self-aware hologram. The dynamic between Zimmerman and the Doctor added a meta layer to Voyager's ongoing exploration of identity, consciousness, and self-worth, and further solidified Picardo's reputation as one of Star Trek's best actors. 3. Johnny, the 20th century hologram from Heroes and Demons. Even within Voyager, Picardo took on multiple holographic identities. In the episode Heroes and Demons, the EMH was temporarily reprogrammed to play Johnny, a heroic knight in a Beowulf-inspired holodeck simulation. While still technically the Doctor, Picardo infused Johnny with an entirely different persona, bold, chivalrous, and overly dramatic. It was a delightful glimpse into his comedic side and an early showcase of how the actor could use the Doctor's holographic flexibility for humor and character depth. Episodes like this one helped the EMH evolve from a functional piece of software into one of Voyager's emotional cornerstones, a transformation that mirrored Data's arc on the Next Generation. 4. Admiral Louis Zimmerman. The future projection. In the Voyager finale, Endgame, Picardo briefly played an aged, future version of the Doctor, now calling himself Joe. This iteration was married, had a family, and finally achieved the humanity he'd long desired. While this was technically still the same character, Endgame's flash-forward allowed Picardo to explore what the EMH might become decades down the line, something that felt almost like playing a new character altogether. Even so, it's another example of how Picardo managed to make every iteration of the hologram, the EMH, Joe, or even alternate versions, feel distinct and emotionally grounded. 5. Robert Picardo's role in Star Trek Deep Space Nine Offscreen 2. While many remember his DS9 appearance as the EMH, Picardo also contributed creatively behind the scenes. His script ideas and interest in directing led him to helm 2 Voyager episodes, Alter Ego and One Small Step. Both dealt with emotional and philosophical themes, reflecting his deep understanding of Star Trek's spirit. He wasn't just an actor reading lines. He actively helped shape how the franchise explored technology, humanity, and individuality. Few recurring actors in Star Trek have had such broad influence across the production side of the show. 6. Star Trek Prodigy, The Doctor Returns. Fast forward to Star Trek Prodigy 2022, and Robert Picardo once again stepped back into the Star Trek universe, but not as the same EMH fans remembered. This time, he voiced a holographic version of Admiral Janeway's ship's medical program. This updated EMH wasn't quite the same doctor from Voyager. It was more